was a fancy atmosphere though. Like I feel like Hollywood Studios kind of like rose to the occasion. Like if you wanted to make it a fancy night, you definitely could have. We did not do that. We did dress up though. We all had matching ugly sweater vests.
Oh, yeah.
There you go.
I saw that pic. That was okay. Okay.
Yeah. Oh, you know what? Now I'll send you a picture, Kevin, so you can put it in the show notes too.
Yes.
So people can see our ugly sweater vests, but they were a hit.
Hey everyone, I'm Ashley Eckstein, voice of Ahsoka Tano from Star Wars, and you are listening to the Magic Our Way podcast, and may the Force be with you.
Jumbo, everyone.
Harambe.
And welcome to another edition of
The Magic Our Way.
Magic Our Way.
Magic Our Way.
Magic Our Way.
The Magic Our Way podcast.
They are truly magical and whatnot.
Asante Sana, everyone. You're listening to the Magic Our Way podcast from New Orleans, Louisiana. And on this show, we invite you to feel the libations.
Feel it, feel it.
We are artistic buffs and not artistic cream puffs. This is a show in which every opinion is welcome. MagicOurWay.com is where you can find us. For this show, Rachel discusses her recent experience with the Disney Jollywood Nights event over at Walt Disney World. And look, this isn't your typical polish, practice, pixie dust, and Disney podcast. No way. We are not in Disney California Adventure, letting you know about the return of the peanut butter marshmallow just in time for the Festival of the Holidays.
That is right, Kevin. We're just here drinking, talking some Disney, and getting jolly with it.
That's right. You listeners have the easy part. All you guys have to do is to listen up to what we think up while we drink up.
My name is Kevin.
And I'm Danny.
I'm Eli.
And I'm Rachel.
And look, the easiest way to support us is to book a vacation with Rachel, and a little piece of that comes back to support us. Also, please leave a rating and review on Apple Podcasts and or wherever you access our show. And be sure to like and subscribe and turn on those notifications so you never miss an episode of the Magic Our Way podcast. Also, we want to thank our Patreon supporters for all that they do for us.
Absolutely.
Alrighty, y'all, so enough of our jibber jabber. Let's go discuss some Jollywood.
All right. Well, it's been a few weeks since I've been around. I had a couple back-to-back weekends of fun stuff to do, so that was really nice. First weekend, I was at the Eras Tour in Indianapolis, and that was an amazing experience. So there's not many Eras Tour shows left, but if you have an opportunity to go see Taylor Swift in Canada, what a great thing to do. It was awesome.
And you got to see the New Orleans Beads, right? Up there on Lucas Field.
I actually didn't because Indianapolis had a bunch of wind and they had taken them down by Saturday, which was the show that I went to go see. Because they were being damaged by the wind. But the New Orleans Beads are now up in Toronto.
Really?
So they're making their way around to all the places.
Like true New Orleans beads do.
Yes, right. Yes.
The city with the biggest area
to work with.
Yeah, the ones who gets the beads.
That's right.
Yes.
Exactly.
But yeah, so that was great. And then this past weekend, I was at Walt Disney World with my husband and my friend and her husband. So 2 couples, and we just did an adults only trip.
That sounds lovely.
Oh, that's nice.
It was.
Did you have good weather at least? I hope. I don't know.
Oh my gosh.
I feel like it was hot.
Yeah, ideal. It was ideal weather. It did get a little hot, especially on our Epcot day. And I'll talk about that a little bit more, but it did kind of cut into my food and wine enjoyment a little bit. But then, like 3-4 o'clock, it got so much better. So it was no big deal.
There you go. Yeah, just got to wait a second and then the weather will change in Florida this time of year.
That's right. Yeah, we're used to that in New England, but it happened in Florida for sure. But yeah, so I think I'm going to do a longer full trip report next weekend. But this week, we are going to do Jollywood Nights. One of the things I got to do on my trip was to visit the new it's a relatively new holiday party experience. This is the second year.
I've never been. It's just like, is it like an after party kind of thing? Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. It's like Mickey's Very Merry Christmas Party, but it's at Hollywood Studios instead. And this is the second year. The first year, it got very mixed reviews. Like people weren't totally thrilled with it.
Not so jolly.
Not so jolly. And so they made a lot of changes, even last year, like while the event was going on. And by the end of its run, people were more positive about it. And then it was returning this year. And so they made even more changes for this year. And I'm happy to share what we thought. we went to the very first night. It was November 9th.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, if anybody's headed down and you already have Jollywood's Nights tickets, hopefully this review will help. And if you're headed down and thinking about maybe going to the party, there are still tickets available for a lot of the nights. I think because of those like kind of negative reviews from last year. And so maybe this will help you make your decision about whether or not you want to go.
And it runs through when?
So the first party was the one we went to November 9th, and it runs all the way through December 21st.
Okay.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah. And it usually does not take place on the same night as Mickey's Very Merry Christmas Party does. They kind of trade off, which makes sense because if they're going to have shortened hours in a park, they don't want to do it in two parks on the same night.
Oh,
Totally,
yeah, that's
yeah.
true. Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah.
When they're already doing it at Animal Kingdom too.
Right.
Yeah. Right. Because Animal Kingdom closes early anyway.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So I could just like do Very Merry Christmas Party one night and then Jollywood's the next night
Mhm,
and knock out those two
definitely.
parks, huh?
I thought that was brilliant.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, we didn't do Very Merry Christmas Party this year, but I've done it in the past. So I can compare them pretty well because there weren't a lot of changes to that experience this year at all.
Okay.
So when we get there, I'm happy to compare them. All right. So we'll get started. We were staying at Caribbean Beach Resort. And we actually didn't have park tickets for the day because, like I've been saying lately, my favorite thing to do is to not have park tickets and to just do the parties. And so that's what we did. We didn't have park tickets and we got ready and wanted to get to the park right at 6 because you could get in with your party ticket at 6, even though the party doesn't start until 7:30.
Oh, that's a little bit later than they give you for Not So Scary. And Not So Scary or Very Merry.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah, it is a little bit later.
Because don't you normally get in around 4 with those?
Yeah, so you can get in at 4:00 for the Very Merry Christmas Party. So it is a few hours less, but the Jollywood Nights party goes a little later.
Nice. Okay.
So you get a little bit more on the back end, I guess, but not much more. So if you're looking for like total time in the park, Very Merry Christmas Party is more time in the park with just your party ticket for sure.
Okay.
Okay.
Something to
Yeah.
work with.
Yeah, but still the Jollywood Nights, if you entered at 6, you got 6.5 hours in the park.
That's
That's
pretty
not
good.
bad. Yeah. It's
Pretty good.
Limited number of people, you could hit all the good things.
Yeah.
I'll be curious to hear what the rides and stuff and as far as value and all that stuff. I know you'll get into it, but
Yeah, well, actually, that might be a good thing to talk about right now in terms of the rides that were available. So the major attractions were open, but most of the shows at Hollywood Studios were changed to be themed to the Jollywood Nights. So they were like unique shows for the event.
Cool.
And then there was nothing going on in Indiana Jones Theater.
Oh,
man.
Yeah. But then the attractions were open. So that was kind of nice.
all their tracks.
And I'll talk more about that in sort of my rundown. But it was if you wanted to go do attractions, you definitely could do that. And so what we actually did when we got there at 6:00 was we got right in the park, which was nice because we had heard last year it was like crazy trying to get into the park. Just like takes a long time to get through the line. And we found it to be pretty quick. And then we went right to Galaxy's Edge and we did Rise of the Resistance.
So you felt pretty jolly right off the bat because of that.
We felt pretty jolly right off the bat. Yeah.
Well, before you get into it, overall, as opposed to like the people were saying last year, did you feel jolly or happier with the whole Jollywood experience?
Were you holly jolly?
Were you
Holly
holly?
jolly.
Overall, we felt pretty jolly.
Okay, good.
We had a great time. Just the four of us. Everybody gets dressed up for this party. That's like a piece of it. And people get dressed up for the Very Merry Christmas Party too. But this one, people kind of like elevated a little bit. So a lot of people were in like cocktail attire.
Okay.
Okay, that's what
I was about to say, like, define dressed up. Like, are we talking to the nines, as they say?
Or is it costumes? But
Definitely
yeah.
some people were like dressed to the nines, cocktail attire, heels, the whole deal.
Wow.
Heels.
Suits.
In
Yeah.
a theme park?
Fancy.
Putting
I
on
know.
the Ritz.
They think they're in Tokyo
We did
Disneyland
not
or something.
do that.
Y'all didn't
Yeah.
do heels. That's good.
Was
Smart.
they red
That's not my
carpet
style.
right there that they rolled out for everybody? It said
No red
Jollywood welcome.
carpet, but
Should be now if you dress it like that.
it was a fancy atmosphere though. Like I feel like Hollywood Studios kind of like rose to the occasion. Like if you wanted to make it a fancy night, you definitely could have. We did not do that. We did dress up though. We all had matching ugly sweater vests.
Oh,
There
yeah.
you go.
I saw that pic. That was okay. Okay.
Yeah. Oh, you know what? Now I'll send you a picture, Kevin, so you can put it in the show notes too.
Yes. Yes.
So people can see our ugly sweater vests, but they were a hit. We got so many compliments on these sweater vests. So in case anyone's looking for a Disney themed ugly sweater vest, we got them at Box Lunch, which is a store that is in a lot of major cities
Yeah.
in like malls and
A
stuff.
lot of malls.
So that's where we got them.
Good to know.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. So we liked the sweater vest. That worked well. At one point, I'll get into the rides a little later, but my husband and my friend's husband spent a lot of time doing rides. And so they started being the sweater vest guys.
Sweater vest guys.
They would return to an attraction and the cast members would say, "Oh, the sweater vest guys are back."
Oh, wow.
That's awesome.
If you got a title now, that's that's pretty impressive.
Yeah, form a band, the Sweater Vest Guys.
We're the
Sweater vest guys.
Two wild and crazy guys.
Sweater vest guys.
So we did that. We dressed up. We felt jolly. We got in. We went straight to Galaxy's Edge, and we waited about I want to say it was about like 35 minutes
That's not
for
bad.
Rise of the Resistance.
That's
yeah,
not bad.
not
for that.
bad.
Yeah.
Interesting. So why start with Rise of the Resistance when the rest of the paying public is still in the park?
Yeah. Well, I had read ahead that the line would still be pretty small for
Okay.
Rise of the Resistance before the party. And this party, like, if you want to do all the shows and you want to have time to get food and maybe do some attractions, there's also a lot of rare characters. You have to that's a full 5 hours, which is what the party is. Like initially our thought was we're not going to do anything that we could do during the normal day during the party hours.
Makes
Okay.
sense.
And so our thought was like, we're going to do the normal day stuff before the party. And then we're going to do just the party stuff during the party.
Okay, makes sense.
Yeah. So we did Rise of the Resistance before and it was good. It was still B-roll Kylo,
Oh,
the animatronic wasn't working.
Kylo in the spaceship.
I know. And I can't remember the last time that animatronic was working.
Me either.
Well, that's because, Dr. Doofenshmirtz mixed it up. If you listen to that episode, that's what happened.
That's it.
Yeah. What a bummer.
I know.
So anyway, I just I miss that animatronic.
It was a cool animatronic. It is sad that ride, which was so great, with the cannons firing and moving
Yeah.
and coming back. Oh, good.
They were moving?
Everything else was good. I think so. Yeah.
Oh my God, because I hadn't seen those suckers moving. Like when I went in May, it wasn't moving. It was just like, and that was it.
Yeah.
Very, very sad.
Last time I saw it, it was not moving.
You
so-
don't even get to pew. You just get pew.
Yeah, I just
That's
get
it.
pew. Yeah. It's like Yeti cannons and Yeti Kylo. Like this
The
one.
other thing that has always been broken for me, or not always, but in the recent past, it's often been broken, is Akbar. Not Akbar. Who's the guy who's in the shuttle with you?
He looks like Admiral Akbar to me.
He does
I'm not
look like
sure
Admiral
if that
Akbar.
is the official
I
Admiral.
forget what his name is.
His
Akbar, but
cousin.
He's a Mon Calamari. Is that what
He
they
is a
call
Mon
him?
Calamari.
He's
Yeah.
one of those guys.
One of the
Yeah.
Yeah.
that species for sure.
Like
Josh would know the name, but anyway, he hadn't been working the last few times I was riding.
At
and
the
he did
end?
work.
wow.
No, well, at the beginning and the end.
Oh, I see what you mean. Okay, I got you.
And guys out there,
Right.
Rachel is not trying to say that all Mon Calamari look alike.
I
She's
know.
totally not saying
Not saying that. Or not working.
No, exactly.
It's a whole new
And
world.
lazy, not working,
No,
nothing about
right.
Mon, no stereotyping of Mon.
Don't let this
I'm not.
guy set it apart for everybody else.
That's
in the
right.
calamari.
Mon
right.
Calamari matter.
Yeah.
Delicious.
At both the beginning and the end, he was working. So that was good. That was a benefit. That had been a while since I had seen that working. So that was cool. But anyway, so we had a nice ride.
That's
That's
good.
good.
No,
That's
yeah,
good.
that's
So
cool.
wait, the monk in the shuttle that gets caught by the tractor beam.
Yeah.
That one wasn't working.
The last few times I've been, yeah.
Oh, that's wild.
Wow.
Okay.
Oh, geez. The
So is
tractor
there
was
like
They
a-
just had that wall up.
Okay.
And then
Oh,
you could
they-
see him on the
oh.
screen.
Gotcha.
Dang.
Okay.
Hey, put some money back in there.
That is
Disney,
wild.
come
Okay.
on.
I've never run into that, but
Never.
I could see
Yeah.
how that would take away a little bit.
Oh, a lot.
Yeah.
A little
Yeah.
bit, yeah.
That's like Star Tours without 3PO now.
Yes.
Mm.
You know,
Right.
you just leave the wall up and it's just screen. Okay.
It's like,
I never heard that, so I didn't mean to interrupt your story, but I was like,
No, that's
that
okay.
blows my mind if that's not working. That should be working because you're right
Yeah.
up on it. But anyway, I digress. Go ahead.
Yeah. So we rode that. It was nice. And then we got out of it with a little time to spare before the party started. And we were hoping that they would already have some things like going and like the food options or whatever. And they really didn't. So I guess that's sort of one recommendation to folks is like, if you want to maximize that time beforehand, do the regular day stuff, but they're not like starting early.
Oh, wow. Okay.
You cannot get the Jollywood stuff until 7:30. So
They really want to make sure you pay for that ticket.
they do.
Well, you dressed up for it. You got to be there early,
Yes.
you know.
It's true.
Jolliness ain't free.
Oh, it ain't.
They had a bunch of rare characters. We did not meet any characters, but I can tell you a little bit about the people that were there.
Yeah.
Okay.
With the rareness.
It's just not like really what we do unless our kids are with us. We're not big character people. But they had King Louie from Tailspin
Oh,
and Tailspin Blue. Kind of fun.
cool. Oh, did they have the hat and everything? And
Yeah.
Oh,
Okay, they were dressed
gotcha.
like they were at Tailspin. And then they had Powerline Max, like Goofy's son, but he's in his Powerline outfit from the Goofy movie.
okay.
People love that Powerline Max.
No, they do.
I don't get it.
Long lines I saw. And then they had Scrooge McDuck. They
like
also
Scrooge.
I like Scrooge,
had
yeah.
Pinocchio and Jiminy Cricket like switching out.
You don't see Jimmy.
Yeah, you
Cricket
don't see that too often.
Yeah.
Jack
Yeah.
Skellington?
Jack Skellington, no, but they do have the Nightmare Before Christmas show, but he was not a meet and greet. No.
Okay.
They had Donald and Daisy and Goofy and Pluto in like really cute Christmas outfits out in Toy Story Land, which was like a little weird that they were in Toy Story Land, but that's where they were.
Yeah.
And then they also had Mickey and Minnie meeting together in Christmas outfits in the place where Minnie normally meets, like during the regular day, that like red carpet dreams.
Yes.
with Minnie.
Yeah.
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
They were both together there.
Cool. Okay.
Yeah. So those were some options if you wanted to meet characters. Not my scene, but people seemed very happy with it.
They would have loved y'all sweater vest, though. I think
They would have loved the sweater vests. That's
They
true.
should have paid to take pictures with y'all.
exactly.
We're the sweater vest guys.
Yeah.
Sweaterfest boys.
Sweater
That's right.
Fest guys. Yes.
Fest
Meet and greet.
boys.
Better than the Soggy Bottom boys.
There it is.
True.
Yep.
So I have prepared a little bit of a 5+2, like we've been doing lately for our reviews. So I have a Jollywood 5+2. So I'm going to start that. Does that sound good?
That
And then just
sounds
like hit me
great.
with the
great.
questions.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm excited because I've never been to Jollywood Nights, so I'm curious to know how your experience went.
Yeah. And I really like just in general, like this is a regular day thing too, but the decorations in Hollywood studios are so cool for the holidays. They're that like all those old fashioned decorations, really classic Christmas feeling. So that was cool.
That
And
is cool.
you can get that anytime at Hollywood studios.
Probably be even cooler with those Oswald lights back.
Oh, I know.
Yeah.
I wish those were back.
I mean-
if they included that in this event, I think it would be sold out every night immediately.
Yeah, you would think with them making a hard ticket event for Hollywood studios that may be something that they would figure out a way to bring back in some way. But oh well.
Yeah.
I'm curious to know
No.
where it is.
I know. Yeah.
Ooh. I thought it got donated somewhere, but
Yeah.
we're getting
getting
sidetracked.
off. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So number one, the first thing I wanted to say about Jollywood Nights is that everything was really smooth. And I was surprised because the crowd level was higher than I thought it was going to be. And I felt this way about the Very Merry Christmas Party too in Magic Kingdom in the past. You always think like, oh, it'll be low crowds because it's an after hours party. No, it's high crowds. There's a lot of people there. Now, the after hours branded parties, like the ones that happen not associated with a holiday, the just like regular night after hours you can buy, those are low crowd. So if that's what you're looking for, like a low crowd experience, you want the after hours, like in quotation marks, branded parties. But these holiday parties, so like the Halloween one, Jollywood, and the Christmas party, they sell more tickets to those. So it is not a low crowd experience.
So it's not a comfy experience. Okay.
new.
That just kind of knocked it a notch for me. Yeah.
Yes. So semi-jolly.
Okay.
It's lower than the day crowds, but it's still like the walkways are busy.
Okay.
However, what I was going to say was my thought there was that everything ran really smooth. Despite that, the lines for food went super fast. The lines for the attractions were non-existent because everybody was doing other things. And the shows, there's like a ton of shows that are exclusive to the party. Those were all easy to get into. Like we didn't show up a half hour in advance for stuff. We just kind of like walked up and got seats. So that was really nice too.
Okay. Well, that just bumped it back up for me, I think.
Hella jolly.
Yeah. Now
Yes.
I'm hella jolly.
Hella
Yeah.
About time.
Yes.
I was
Even
worried.
though it was crowded and it felt crowded to me, it didn't impact doing the things that were a part of the experience, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that makes sense. So like
Yeah.
in your transit from thing to thing, it was a little crowded,
Right.
but once you got to said thing, you were fine. It felt like a after hours part where you could just stroll in there. Okay,
Yes.
I could live with that, I think. Yeah, I could
But
live with that.
like in the after hours parties, you could take pictures of empty walkways. You know what I mean? It was not that.
Like the regular after you talk
Right.
about.
Yes.
Yeah,
The
yeah.
regular after hours ones, like, nobody's in Fantasyland kind of thing. This was not that. People were everywhere. It was densely packed, but you could still do the stuff without having to do a lot of work.
Gotcha.
Wow.
That's
Okay.
kinda- I can live with that. I can live with that. Maybe rub some elbows with some people.
I'm a people
Some
watcher.
pretty people, and then you walk onto the rides. I can live with that.
Let them
That's still
check
good.
out your fashionable outfit
That's
while you
right.
checking their fashionable
Yes.
outfit. That's a whole thing.
It's true.
That's how fancy people do it.
the scents,
Yes.
all the
Jolly.
perfumes and colognes.
That's it.
Okay, no, that brought it back up. I'm good.
Okay.
Good now.
I like how we're tracking Kevin's
Jolliness, yeah.
How jolly is Kevin?
Yeah,
That's
All
right.
right. So I think this next thing is going to make you jolly, Kevin.
Okay.
Oh, good.
Jolly gauge go up.
Exclusive show called Disney Holidays in Hollywood. It takes place in the Beauty and the Beast theater. So that big outdoor theater. And it is awesome. What a great show. It's hosted by Kermit and Piggy.
Oh, now we're
Oh.
talking.
They're not like big walking versions, like they're the actual
Muppets. Yeah,
from
yeah, as they should.
people are like controlling them, and they're like sitting on top of a pile of Christmas boxes so that you can't tell, but it's perfect. It's perfect. They're great. And they do their regular shtick, and then they're like the hosts of the variety show. So there's like a whole segment with Tiana, and she comes out and does a thing, and there's a whole segment with Belle, and she comes out and does a thing, and then there's a whole like 8-piece jazz band there, and they play live music.
Good for them.
Yeah, lots of live music. And they're structured like they're all sitting on different tiers on both sides of the stage. It kind of reminds me of an old-timey like Hollywood special or holiday special on TV where the band is all kind of like lining the stage. And it's great. It's really good. And the musicians were great. The performers were really good. The dancers were really good. So I liked that show a lot. And it is exclusive to the party. And my only complaint about that show was that the people in front of me kept on their really obnoxious ear Christmas hats.
Ooh, yeah.
And I
Oh.
had trouble seeing like above them or around them in any way. It was like so frustrating. Like if they had just taken off their Mickey Santa hats, we would have been able to see.
Did you try to tap him on the shoulder and say,
I was going to say.
excuse
didn't.
me?
I
Good work,
probably
pal.
should have.
She doesn't like that. Remember,
Well,
she told us
no,
before.
wait, she's got to
when it was
add it to her
block.
list. She go
Yeah.
ear headbands, and now we have ear hats. Not
Ear
functional
hats.
for Rachel's life.
I mean, you were with the Sweater Fest boys. They would have whooped their butts.
Well, so here's the next thing. I was actually not with the Sweater Vest boys.
Oh,
So-
they were riding rides, right?
Yes.
Yeah,
So what
okay.
happened was
That's funny.
the men decided that they weren't very interested in the shows, and so every time we would go to a show, they would go ride rides until they dropped. And so I think they did Tower of Terror like 5 or 6 times while we watched the show.
Their vacation,
That's
too.
freaking awesome.
They had to be jolly, too.
Applause for Josh.
They
There you
wore
go.
the vest. They
All
got
right,
to
Josh.
do the best.
Hey, honey, this is a nice party. See you later.
See you later now.
Exactly.
Let me know when you're
Be
done.
back here in 5 hours.
What time this show
Yeah.
is?
Jolly!
Woo!
It's more like,
Yeah.
baby, you good? All right, good. I'm gone.
I'm gone. Me and my
Yeah.
boy with the vest, we doing it.
yeah.
Peeled off and did their thing. So yeah, they rode
That's
Tower
funny.
of Terror during this show.
Dang.
And they got a really fun picture because like most of the time it was just a walk on, and most of the time they were the only ones in the elevator together.
Oh,
So
no.
this one time the cast members had them sit on like opposite corners of the elevator and like reach to each other while they took the picture. It's like adorable.
Do you have that pic?
I do.
I
I
need
can
that
send you
pic
the
for the show
picture.
art, I
Yeah,
think.
Please.
Yes.
I need
In
to
their-
look it up. That is epic.
In their little Christmas sweaters. Yeah.
Now,
Uh-huh.
I'm
So-
really jolly now here.
I'm jolly.
Was this the same
Yeah.
guy he went to the Halcyon with?
No, those are so this the man that came with us on this trip is my friend Elizabeth. She's also a travel agent. And it's
Okay.
her husband. The guys that Josh went to the Halcyon with were his high school buddies.
Those are his boys, yeah. I remember
Ah.
that, yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
so he just met this guy.
I mean, we've known them for a few years now, but he only knows him through me and my
Mm.
friend Elizabeth. Yeah.
It
So,
seems like they hit it off pretty
Oh,
well.
because they
Yes.
bonded over the
Yes.
sweater vest thing. He's like, if you had to wear the vest, I'm wearing the vest.
Well,
We
sweater
in
vest
this.
empowers people.
Well, I get that. It's a guy thing. I get it. Go ahead, Rick.
They did say they had one of those. It reminds me of Seinfeld. Like, not that there's anything wrong with that, but they were pretty sure that all the cast members thought they were a gay couple. And so they would like loudly talk about how their wives were enjoying the Muppet Show. They're like, well, pretty soon our wives will be done with the Muppet Show.
And they're like, mustache.
Right. Meanwhile, the cast was like, yeah, right.
Yeah.
Where are their wives at a show or something?
Wives, yeah, right. Mustache.
Yeah, we believe you. It's okay. It's okay.
Yeah.
We
So
love
funny.
your vest. We love the matching. Yeah.
Wait till
That's
wait till they open Monsters Inc. land so they can come out of the closet.
Hey! All furry.
Yes. Oh my God.
Oh, that's adorable.
Yeah, and they do actually look a little bit like Sully and Mike because my my friend's husband Brandon is very tall and Josh is very short, so they were like
Perfect.
Oh yeah, that's. I'm sorry, that sold it. I'm sure to it. Yeah.
Oh,
yes.
yeah.
So yeah,
Love
that
it.
was my number. So my number 2 is the Holidays in Hollywood show, which was really good, and the live music was incredible, especially the jazz musicians. Everybody was performing live too. They were singing live. Like that was perfect.
I love it.
Okay.
And then
Shout out to Local 389 of the American Federation
Yeah.
of Musicians. Good job, guys.
yes. My number 3 is that the attraction wait times were all really short. So Josh and Brandon did Tower of Terror a ton, and then they did Rock and Roller Coaster a bunch, like no problem, just walk on. And then I think they even went back to Tower of Terror after that. And those were the 2 that they really did the most. The Toy Story Land stuff was actually pretty busy, but I think it was because each of those rides were down during some of the party. And so
Oh.
then when they came back up, they were really busy. So we didn't do the Toy Story stuff at all.
What was the average wait time for Slinky Dog?
And it was an hour.
Ooh,
Oh,
yeah,
that's like
yeah.
a normal. Ooh,
You're killing. Yeah, no.
that's a
Yeah,
slow
so
load.
no
They're
thanks.
both kind of slow loaders, I think. Even
Yeah,
though
they are.
Slinky Dog's a coaster, there's not many trains on that track.
No, and the train's pretty small.
Yeah, it's pretty small. Yeah. Okay.
So the Sweater Vest Boys did not do Slinky Dog.
Not do Slinky Dog,
Dang.
no.
All right.
Mostly Tower of Terror and Rock and Roll.
Because you too close together on Slinky Dog. We ain't trying to
That's
sell that view. Now, there's anything wrong with that, but we're not trying to sell that.
I just imagine, like, should we go back and find the wives? I think I'd rather just stay here with you, though.
Yeah.
There's
Exactly.
more rides to be
Sweater
had.
Vest love.
Hey,
Yeah.
you're
Can
in
I-
this, and I'm in this with you.
Can I buy you a drink?
Like, this
beverage,
could be a
perhaps.
romantic comedy.
It's
I
on
think.
its own, yeah.
The Sweater Vest guys at Jollywood Nights.
Yes, like they fall in love, like
Yeah.
while riding the rides.
The Sweater West guys have Jollywood.
That's
Right.
why the
Oh,
cast
jeez.
members made them reach for each other
No.
on the elevator.
Oh
Yeah.
boy.
Like I could never picture.
sorry.
Like I couldn't get away with this. I could
No.
be like, "Bye, honey. See you in about 5 or 6 hours. Me and Eli gonna ride everything."
Right, no.
Oh, I don't know. I feel like Anna would let you go ride rides.
No, if she did that,
No?
that's another story entirely. God bless our faith.
Oh, she might, but she'll storm off with smoke coming out of her ears and never speak to me for the rest of the trip.
Yeah.
She will do that.
Because if you come off the ride and she's standing there waiting for you with her arms folded, yeah,
You
the
are-
night's
yeah,
over.
You're in trouble.
done.
Yeah.
Okay.
Ain't no sweater vest getting you out of that one.
Dun dun dun.
Okay,
Fair
let's
enough.
bring the jolly back up. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Jolly.
So that was
Jolly.
good. So the Holidays in Hollywood show was great. The attraction wait times were really good. So if you wanted to do that, that was an option. They had the Tip Top Club.
Tip Top Club.
And the Tip Top Club is a Jollywood exclusive thing. It is outside the Tower of Terror, like outside the exit area. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like in that kind of. And they had a couple jazz musicians. So it was like a stand-up bass and a saxophone player. So more live music and a singer. And they were all really talented. And they were kind of painted as ghosts. Like it's supposed to be the ghosts of the hotel, like operating this club
Oh.
outside. So they were
Nice.
kind of like their skin was like very painted, very pale and like shimmery. And they had dancers down like at the bottom of the stage, like dancing with the crowd, dancing with each other.
Oh.
So it's kind of like ghost hosts and spirits that were dancing in the club. And then they had a special area where you could get drinks at the Tip Top Club. And that was my only time where the line was so long we didn't do it. So
Oh.
Josh and Brandon, the Sweater Vest guys, were going to get us all drinks. And so they went to go stand in line while my friend Elizabeth and I watched the show. And they came back and they were like, that line is at least a half hour. We're not doing that.
Okay, I thought what you were going to say said we didn't go, but Josh and Brandon went and they danced the night away with the
danced
ghosts
the
to
night
one
away.
another.
We
And
all bailed.
And
We
it
bailed
was
on the cocktails, but we
Okay,
watched
yeah.
the show for a little while, and the show was really good. And I loved the audience participation. They were getting people dancing,
That's
and that
cool.
was really cool. Yeah,
I like that they add that extra dimension, for lack of a better word, to that.
Yeah.
they're using the ghost. Yeah, I mean,
I think that's cool.
Christmas, yeah, it has a touch of a ghostly element to it, actually. You know,
sure, yeah.
It's the spirit of it.
yeah.
Ghost of Christmas Past, you know, that
Exactly,
kind of thing.
yeah.
So, yeah.
Even that song, the most wonderful time of the year. There'll be scary ghost stories and tales of the glory of Christmas is long. Like I don't know what it is, but yeah, Christmas is kind of associated with ghostliness.
Yeah.
I can see that. 'cause
happy
It's like if you have
spirit.
your relatives and stuff, you you hope that they're around in some form or fashion.
Yeah, it's
You know,
festive.
enjoying
yeah.
it with you.
So yeah, good on them for
I dig it.
incorporating that. I like that.
But
Yeah.
for the theme of what it was, yeah, that works. That's
I didn't
cool.
even know that existed. That's
Yeah.
new this year, or is that? from
No,
last-
they had that last year
Okay.
too. That was a returning thing.
Well, that was the thing.
Tip-top
It was
Club.
Ghost. You wouldn't have known it existed. To be fair.
Yeah, and that's great. Live musicians. I love it.
Yes, lots of live music in the party for sure.
Beautiful.
That's local 365 too.
389.
There you go.
Yeah.
Them two.
Yes.
285 south.
Eli's just playing number.
Bingo.
Yeah.
Bingo.
My number 5 is the food. So there was a ton of exclusive food to the party. And like they had a whole foodie guide. We went through the foodie guide before we went. We made our lists of the things we wanted to get. And so I have my top 5 favorite foods. So this is our bonus 5+2.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
then my 2 drink, or no, what I do instead of 2 drinks, I did 2 things that weren't so good. So it's like 5 things I loved, and the bonus 2 are things that I did not love so much.
All
Okay.
right.
Go
I'm
for
excited.
it.
Here we go. So my very favorite thing in the whole party was the cauliflower taco, which sounds kind of gross, although I love plant-based stuff. So this was really up my alley. But this cauliflower taco, everybody that we were with, everybody agreed that was the best thing we ate all night. It was so good.
It was nothing but cauliflower?
Yeah.
So it's just a regular taco, soft taco shell. And then the cauliflower is in there. So it's chili, pepper, lime dusted fried cauliflower. So it's fried cauliflower inside.
Is it ground up cauliflower, kind of like a ground beef, but is it like still like whole florets?
No, it's still florets, but they're cut very small.
Okay, I got you.
How you gonna say cauliflower was
flat.
like beef? That don't. Never mind. Go ahead. I'm
Well,
sorry.
it's not trying to be beef. It's
Yeah.
still being cauliflower, but it's fried.
The cauliflower retains its identity.
This is a tough time for me.
It don't want to be beef.
I am not jolly if it's not beef. Okay. Yes.
Well, they
ma'am.
did have a beef birria taco. They had a birria beef taco.
They had a birria beef. Okay, that's
You're
good.
trying to say cauliflower can't identify as beef?
I was when he said that. How is it grounded up like beef? I was like, I don't visually see that. Yeah.
Don't limit cauliflower. Eli.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, because they rice cauliflower and stuff.
They
I
do
don't
right
get
there.
out enough. I'm
I wasn't
trying.
sure if they did it like that.
Nobody puts cauliflower in the corner.
That's
I'm
right.
so
I tell you, this is great cauliflower.
I mean, I'm trying to bring the jolly.
I believe you. I like cauliflower.
Yeah, I do too. I
do
had
too.
I had a Kung Pao cauliflower dish the other day, and it was delicious.
yeah.
But
Yeah.
anyway,
So
yeah,
it's-
this
Okay.
I'll try this.
fried cauliflower taco. Okay.
It's on top of a corn tortilla, and it has diced onions, cilantro, and a chipotle cashew crema. It was really, really good.
Cashew crema.
Yeah, it was our favorite thing the whole night was this cauliflower taco.
What's
So
a crema?
delicious.
I'm not a cook
Like
chef
a-
guy.
It's like it's almost like you drizzle like a mayonnaise on top or like a salad dressing.
Oh, it's like
that.
okay, so it's like a peanut butter kind of thing.
Not
Sure,
really,
like a-
not as thick as a peanut butter, but
Not
as
yeah,
thick as
it's
a
like a
peanut
cream.
Yeah.
literally.
like a
All
salad
right.
dressing.
Yeah.
Okay, I was
It's good.
just trying to visualize it. All right,
It's
I'm with you.
tasty in normal dishes. Yeah.
No, I believe that. Well, it sounds like it's got the good spices to it, and like the cauliflower kind of like gives you that extra crunch.
Healthiness.
What's that? All right,
I don't know. I mean, yeah, that's the good thing is that cauliflower does absorb flavor pretty well, but it is different. Yeah, no, I'd be
Okay.
curious to try it,
That's interesting. I would
but
like
I'd still
to-
probably want to get the birria beef taco too along with it.
Eh,
Did somebody have that? Did somebody try that?
We did not do the birria beef taco. We got the cauliflower taco, and there was chicken empanadas with a street corn, and so we got that as well. And those were, I would say, they were like grocery store quality.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, those weren't very good. They tasted like they had been pre-frozen and just like heated up.
Oh.
The empanadas, yeah. But
That sounded
the
so
street corn
hopeful.
was good.
The
I
street
know
corn.
the street corn on the side was really good, but the empanadas themselves were like they reminded me of like after school microwave treats.
Wow.
Oh,
wait,
damn.
so where did you get? So you got these at the same place? These two?
Yeah.
dishes?
So this
Okay.
was an ABC commissary, like
Oh,
that
okay,
regular
gotcha.
quick service.
Yeah.
They had like every food location had a special menu for the night, and so this was the ABC commissary menu was all like Latin Christmas. So I had a coquito to drink there. They had the beef birria taco. They had like a taco cookie or something. We didn't have any sweets, but yeah, they had all kinds of like Latin themed Christmas stuff.
Okay. That just so in case somebody heard, they were like, where would I have got that? Now we can tell them. Yeah. Okay, cool.
Yeah, ABC commissary. So then my second favorite thing was it's just a stand and it's regularly open during the day too, but it has a different menu. It's in between One Man's Dream and when you're headed to Toy Story, that little like Pixar alley area.
Yeah.
It's called the Market. It's just a stand that's there. And so in that stand, they were serving two things that made my top 5 list. One is the In Holiday Fashion, and that was basically like a holiday old fashioned cocktail. So it's Buffalo Trace Kentucky Straight Bourbon, rosemary syrup, cranberry and lime, and cinnamon. It was really good.
Cranberry and lime, huh? For old
I
fashioned.
know.
That's
Yeah, it was just subtle. It was mostly bourbon.
okay. Well, nothing's wrong with that. I like
Yeah.
That has me intrigued though.
Buffalo Trace. I think I've had that.
They must have a
before.
nice nose to it with the cinnamon and everything, huh?
Yeah, and the rosemary syrup.
Yeah, and the rosemary
I
syrup.
was gonna say it probably hides the how would you call it? I call it a bite, like the that
Like the
late
bitter.
after
Oh,
taste.
yeah.
from the bourbon. But
You
yeah.
had it, Rachel? You said you had it?
I did have it. Yeah, I loved it.
You liked it? Okay.
So it's got like
Yeah.
a sweet kind of cinnamon spice, like you said, to it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
I'm
It
with
was
that.
really good. Good
It's like a
flavors.
holiday old fashioned. I dig it.
I like that.
Yeah.
It's like having a peppermint.
So that was one of the things.
One of the things I liked there. The other thing I liked there, they had buffalo chicken spring rolls. So these are kind of like the spring rolls you get at Magic Kingdom, but they're stuffed with buffalo chicken and like
oh.
celery and blue cheese, that whole,
blue
the whole
cheese?
buffalo chicken flavor profile. Oh, yeah.
Oh.
And then you dip it into jalapeno ranch dipping sauce. It
I'm
was
sold.
house made. It was really good.
Man,
want
I'm
that
on
spring.
board
I'm on
with
that. Yeah, I'll get a bunch of those.
We lead off with that. Now we jolly.
Mm.
I'm with you. Okay.
No
that
joke.
went old
Yeah.
fashioned, yeah.
So we had the
jolly
old
again.
fashioned and buffalo chicken spring rolls. Those were both really good. We
Yes.
went to Baseline Tap House and we had the fried macaroni and cheese croquettes with aioli dipping sauce.
That sounds great.
Those were really good. And they also, this one didn't make my top 5 list, but they had a beer margarita that was good. So it was like a regular margarita, but then they put a Pilsner in it.
Okay.
That
Yeah.
sounds good.
I can see because sometimes
it was
they'll
good.
shove a Corona in there. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Okay. It's like a Corona in reverse is what you're saying.
Yeah.
It's like a sake bomb where
Yeah, like
they'll
a sake
take
bomb.
a
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh, nice.
Mm.
It was kind of like, have you ever had a ranch water? It sort of reminded me of a ranch water, like the tequila and the carbonation, but then there was like kind of a beer flavor, but the lime was still there and the salt. It was good.
You said ranch bladder?
Water.
Ranch
Water.
My bad.
That's the sequel to
I know I
Yellowstone.
missed.
After a good night of drinking, Danny, I get that ranch bladder.
Ranch bladder.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
No, a ranch water.
You want that with inside of buffalo bowels or
Buffalo and cauliflower.
yeah.
When it's time for your bladder to go home on the range.
Make
No,
your
not that.
bladder with
Yeah.
ranch bladder.
All right.
All right, go ahead. Yes.
That sounds great.
That's awesome.
Yeah, the best part of the mac and cheese croquettes actually was the aioli dipping sauce. It was like a chili, I don't know, it was like a little bit spicy, but it had a lot of flavor. So the sauce really made it special.
Nice.
Those were good.
Yeah, it sounds
Yeah.
really good.
We also really loved the holiday turkey popover. That was from Fairfax Fair over on Sunset Boulevard. And that had roasted turkey, creamy mashed potatoes, topped with gravy and cranberry chutney, all inside a house-made popover roll.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Like pigs in the blanket kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That
so it
sounds
was like-
amazing.
That's intense.
all the fixins in the turkey were inside the popover puff.
It sounds like one of those things where you bite into it and it just bursts out on the other end.
Sounds like
Yeah,
it's gonna
kind of.
be
Well, they already
yeah.
had it sort of open a little bit because the turkey was sort of like coming out the side. Yeah,
fried turkey no joke.
Oh, that sounds good.
it
Sounds
was. It was
great.
really good. Yeah.
Okay.
And then I have my 2 misses. So those are my
Oh.
top 5. My 2 misses. It was a spicy pimento kimchi dip.
I love kimchi.
Yeah,
I love
but
kimchi.
pimento?
I
like
don't understand the
pimento.
idea behind.
Yeah, it's 2 things I like, and they put them together, and I was like, "Whoa, gross."
I like that. Oh man.
Yeah, it was served with fresh house-made wonton chips, and the chips were fine until you put them in the dip, and then you were like, "Nasty!" Whoa, like so gross.
So instead of pimento cheese, it was pimento kimchi.
Yeah, pimento kimchi dip.
That's
I'm gonna look on the menu real quick and see. I don't think it was a plant-based menu item.
That
I
sounds
think
bizarre.
it was actual cheese, but it was a bizarre. It was a
Cauliflower.
bizarre experience.
Cauliflower
Cauliflower
could be
cheese.
beef too.
I don't think it was, but I'm gonna look. But it was cold.
it's
Like
cold.
I kind of wanted the dip to be warm. And
Okay.
it was a cold dip.
Cold kind of pasty.
I've had kimchi served hot and cold, and it's fine either way. But
Pimento.
Pimento?
Yeah, I would think
That'll-
more on
It's
the
like
hot
kimchi
side.
spiced with pimento peppers instead of like your regular kimchi stuff.
Oh,
Is what I'm hearing.
So it is not plant based. So it had cheese in it. They have other things that are marked plant based, but not this. And I don't. It just wasn't good.
It's like better cheddar that I buy around here, but it's not better,
No.
No.
and it's not,
Not better.
cheddar.
So it's awful cheddar.
It's awful cheddar.
Okay.
not
It's
so
pretty
good
bad.
cheddar.
Not jolly cheddar.
And then last year, one of the complaints was that that you didn't get any like treat with your ticket. Right. So all this food was extra money. None of it's included. You pay for it all extra. And one of the complaints last year was that there was no included treat like you get at Mickey's Very Merry Christmas Party.
Like
so
the
at
hot
the Christmas party, you
chocolate.
get the hot chocolate and the cookies and all that
Right.
jazz. There was
Okay.
nothing included food wise last year. So this year, there's still basically nothing included, but on the way out, you got Wonder Made handcrafted marshmallows, and these were champagne flavored marshmallows.
Oh, I know those.
Ooh.
That brand.
yeah,
That's a
they came in
brand.
like yes, it is a brand.
Yeah,
Yep.
they got a kiosk in downtown or Disney Springs.
Yes, and they came in these really cute boxes with Kermit and Piggy on them in their little Christmas outfits, and so. We're walking out and we all have our marshmallow boxes. And I'm like, you know what? I'm going to try these things right now. And I opened it up and I put one in my mouth. And it was similar to chewing on a wet sponge.
Oh, so like tofu.
No, I
That's what-
think this is worse.
Yeah, worse.
Because I think
than
I
that.
actually sampled the champagne thing at the
Oh.
kiosk. It was champagne
Oh,
flavor,
yeah.
you said, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was. I did not buy that because it was not good.
Oh,
No.
man, it has the best sounding title,
It
though.
does, but it's not good. If that's the same thing I'm thinking of,
Not
right?
good.
It's not dry in any way. Like you think of a marshmallow as being something that's sort of like dry on the outside and like sort of fluffy on the inside. This was just it was just a corner of a wet sponge. You put it in your mouth and you chewed on it, and it was like gross. I was gross.
It's like chewing
Yeah.
on leather, basically.
Yeah, you
yeah.
took me to a not so jolly time last May.
I
when
want you
tasted
back
that.
to Jolly, Kevin. I hate
I
that.
remember that because
Oh,
the
you
little
right.
lady was like, "Here, try this. It's champagne." I was like, "Ooh, no, I'm not buying that."
Okay.
Yeah, it's
Thank
so
you.
gross.
This is like pseudo jolly.
Yeah,
Like, we
Yeah.
need you back to full jolliness, mega jolly. if
One
you will.
hoe.
We got 6 of them in the box. Like each person in the box had 6. And so I had opened mine and I ate one and I was like, oh my gosh, that's awful. And so then everybody I was with was like, oh, I want to try mine. And I was like, don't bother opening it. I have 5 more and you're welcome to them.
Oh,
And
wow.
My friends all took one of mine. And before we had reached the parking lot, all of us had thrown out our boxes.
Oh,
Damn.
They were
damn.
so gross.
Damn.
I've seen people online be like, "Oh, then you get these special marshmallows at the end," and I'm like, "What? Like, who paid you?" Like, those things are so bad.
Who
Like,
paid you?
No, I agree with you, Rachel.
Unbelievable.
They're not good.
Like-
they have better flavors. but
probably,
that
I've
is
never
not
had
one of
other
them.
ones.
Yeah,
yeah, the champagne one was very bad.
I like how y'all threw them out. I didn't even like give them to the homeless and
Or even
Yeah.
the ducks or something. Yeah.
No one wants to put that in their mouths. That thing is so gross.
That's
Wow.
always that's always the thing. If somebody's like, "Oh, that's nasty," try it. Like, nah, I'm good. I'm taking your word for
It's
it.
like, oh man, it stinks. Smell this.
Yeah,
No.
exactly. Like, no, you just said it. I'm all right. Like, if someone says, "Hey, I got a whole box of these things. I don't like it," you get my
believe you.
whole box. He's like, "You got to think about that." I had one quick question though. Okay,
Yeah.
so the items that you said you bought that weren't part of the package, were they like I would just say quote unquote normal Disney prices, or are we back to cake bake prices?
They're definitely not cake bake prices. They
Okay.
were similar to like food and wine prices. So it's,
Okay.
like $6 for the like individual food items, like somewhere around there.
Okay, but the nasty marshmallows was free, right?
Yeah. The
Okay.
nasty marshmallows were free.
All right.
But
Well,
the other things we all had to pay for. But even the drink I think the in holiday fashion was like 9. Like it wasn't, everything was like food and wine prices. It was priced to be more of like a festival, like where you're buying multiple food items and tasting them.
okay.
Okay.
Because I'm gonna say, like, if you had to pay for the nasty marshmallows, you just should have let the Sweater Vest boys just take that and chuck those marshmallows. All those cast members that did
Off the
not
tower.
think proper of them, I would say that would get
off
your
the
money's worth.
Skyliner.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It wouldn't hurt it with marshmallows till they had to eat them.
That was a downside. The Skyliner wasn't open that late.
Oh,
And y'all at the
we actually
Caribbean.
drove.
oh man,
Oh my
I know.
gosh.
Not
We
fair.
drove.
that is sub jolly.
That's
yeah,
dumb.
that is
That is
definitely
jolly.
reducing jolly
Yeah.
points.
That's back to one hoe.
Jolly meter.
One singular hoe.
I feel like I did these in like sort of a bad order, but so now we're back to my regular 5+2. But the last 2 things I have about the show are like not my favorite.
Well, hopefully you can add
Oh,
the-
we're ending
Oh,
negative.
no.
Oh no.
We're gonna
Yeah.
take away the
Okay.
hose. Oh,
we're gonna
damn.
take those.
No hose.
I can't even go ho ho ho. It's
Ho,
like,
ho, ho.
Yeah.
All right. so
Oh no.
Ho,
Kevin.
no. Ho, no.
no.
Yeah.
Oh hell no!
The
okay.
next thing about the show is something new that they added this year, or not the show, but the night. Something new they added this year, and it is a show. It's the Glisten Ice Dance Show. Remember we talked about how there was going to be ice skating?
Yes.
Yeah, I remember you saying that. Yeah.
So they do. They have an ice rink. It is where we thought it was going to be. It was in front of the Chinese theater in that like big sort of open area of the like entranceway. And so they have this ice rink. It is, I'm overstating it, but I described it as a large welcome mat size. It's so small. it's a small ice rink.
A
really
pond
small.
even?
Is it like a yoga
Yeah.
mat?
Yoga mat.
It's like a large yoga mat. Yeah, no. It's at one point I think there were like 7 skaters. So it was big enough for like 7 people to stand on, but when they were all on the ice together, they couldn't move around a ton. Because it's not that big. It's small.
I'm picturing 7 skaters on a yoga mat.
It's small.
It looks like a sushi revolving thing.
Yeah.
At one point, like because they wanted more people to be able to see it well at a time, they had like an area where you could sit down on the pavement and then an area behind us where you could stand. And so because we got there a little bit later, if we were standing, we would have been behind a lot of people. So we chose to be in the seated area so we could see better. And so I was like sitting down a little bit and the ice rink is up that like little platform. But so I couldn't like see the ice. And at one point I was like, you know what? I don't think they're on ice. I think this, I like didn't believe it. So I like kind of I went to go look at the ice after the show just to like visually see that this thing was really ice.
Did you touch the ice? Are you sure it was ice?
Couldn't get that close, but it looked like a real, and I could see like steam coming off of it. And they were wearing ice skates. So I do think it was really ice.
This
but-
sounds like a budgeting concern because, like in like 80-degree Florida, it probably costs $1 million an hour just to make ice.
Yes.
Yeah, outside.
And they're like, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And they're like, just put 7 people on that.
Yes. So I saw I watched a lot of people's reviews after, and I saw people have positive reviews of this show. Maybe I was feeling like Scroogey or something, but I thought this show was like cringy and laughable. Like it was, I did not think it was positive. Like they couldn't really move around a lot. So they couldn't do any of the tricks that you would expect in like a figure skating show.
Well, yeah, you do a
Disney on
triple
Ice,
axel, you kill somebody. with
Yeah,
that.
right. Yeah, there's like no space. So they're doing like a lot of ice dance stuff where they're just like putting their hands over their head and like spinning around a little bit but like not that much. And then they would like lift one of the female skaters up, but you know, they had to kind of like struggle because a lot of the time when you're lifting a female skater, like in the Olympics or something, you're like getting speed before you do it, you know, so that you can use your momentum, but they're like deadlifting these people above their head.
Ooh, yeah, that's
like,
dangerous. Yeah.
yeah, it was one of the female skaters like just bit it in the back and like
Oh.
fell on the ice in the middle of one of the pieces and like fell kind of off of because there's not that much ice to fall on.
no.
So she's like off on the side, like kind of flailing. And
She slipped right off.
She was not feeling
She
jolly
slid
that
right
night.
off the mat.
Wow.
yeah, they had an original song that they sang at the beginning and the end. You know how Disney does that with their original songs? They like bookend the show, and it was cheesy. Like not fun. It was like too cutesy. And then the middle of the show was Be Our Guest, which is not a Christmas song. I don't know why they were skating to Be Our Guest.
They were like,
Yeah.
why'd you guess how much space you got to skate on?
Yeah. So that was Glisten, the ice skating show, ice skating show.
Did the sweater
And-
vest boys go to Glisten?
No, the sweater vest boys went on rides while we did Glisten. And when they asked us about it, they were like, yup, sounds like what we expected.
Glad
I was
you went
like,
right.
so glad.
It sounded like
You
they had
called
more
it.
fun.
That's probably why you were you were feeling a little Scroogey
That's
because
fair.
you had to
It's
go
not
through
good.
Glisten by
Yes.
yourself.
You were
Yes.
missing the other half of your vest.
Right.
And Josh was jolly.
Yes.
After the show, I turned to my friend and I was like, I would give that a B. And then as the night went on, she was like, what do you think about that Glisten show? I was like, I don't know. I'm down to like a D. I was trying to be positive. I was trying to be
Barely
positive because I didn't want to be like mean that early in the night. But boy, that was bad.
Okay, what was worse, that show or the marshmallow?
Oh, good question. I would rather do anything than put one of those marshmallows in my mouth again. So
Fair
I'm
enough.
going to say the marshmallows were
All right.
worse. But
All right, that's our
Yeah.
standard. It's gonna
it
be,
wasn't marshmallow bad, I guess.
if things are not really bad, it's gonna be called marshmallow marshmallows on a napkin. That's what
Marshmallow bad.
Yeah.
Gross.
It's the champagne of marshmallows.
The champagne of bad marshmallows. Yes.
My last thought of the 7 things is that I didn't think that the ticket itself held a lot of unique special value, right? So like the things that I enjoyed the most about Jollywood Nights were hanging out with my friends, and then also the food and drink. And the food and drink was all an extra charge. And so I do feel like the ticket itself, like you're kind of just paying to go into Hollywood studios and have an opportunity to experience these unique offerings, which also cost more money.
Okay.
So there's no value.
There's no value.
Wow.
Yeah, I don't
Inherent
know.
of itself. Yeah.
Right. The shows I liked a lot. So the holiday show with Kermit and Piggy was awesome. The Jingle Bell, Jingle Bam fireworks, which I think eventually they are going to play in the parks like normally too. But right now that's part of the party. So I liked that fireworks show a lot. I've seen it before, but it was good. I really enjoyed the fireworks show. And then the other show is the Nightmare Before Christmas sing-along. So they take the Frozen sing-along theater and they do a whole Nightmare Before Christmas like overlay inside. And they use the Jack Skellington puppet from the Halloween fireworks.
That looks
inside.
good.
That's cool.
Yeah, it was cool. I really liked that show. I mean, it's ultimately a sing-along. So the coolest part is the Jack puppet. And then Oogie Boogie comes out and they do like kind of a dance number to that song. But I liked that show too. So there were some unique shows. But if you're not interested in shows like the Sweater Vest Boys, it's like there's not a ton of unique stuff going on other than the food, and that all costs extra money.
Yeah, I could see that. That sucks.
Yeah, you've already paid to have the experience. I mean, when they start putting that extra,
But at least you
gig
didn't
on
pay
you.
for a park ticket on top of the cost
Right.
of the actual
event.
ticket.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the attraction lines were short. Yeah, the
Attraction
attraction
lines-
lines were short.
Did
so that's
you
good.
ride any attractions?
I didn't. Just the
No.
Sweater Vest
I was
Boys.
just
So
saying-
I'm starting to think. I was like, well, maybe Josh and his the other male buddy
Brandon. Yeah.
got more value out of their ticket because they rode all the rides versus you with the shows and the food that you had
Yeah.
to pay extra for.
Well, they did the food with us.
They did the
They
food,
just didn't
okay.
do the shows. You couldn't do the rides and the shows though. You'd have to pick.
Right.
Right.
Oh, wow. Okay.
But see, like she went for the experience of the event because those things wouldn't happen all day. Whereas the Sweater Vest Boys were like, we partying, and that's what's
Yeah.
Well,
happening.
they got the price of the ticket to ride the ride.
Exactly.
I find it interesting that in order to do all the shows, she had to skip all the rides and the character meet and
Yeah,
greets
that is interesting.
just in order to do that.
That's
So
true.
it doesn't seem like it. Yeah. It doesn't
Well, we also spent a ton of time eating food
okay.
and like
Right.
buying the special food, walking around, getting the drinks and doing that. If you wanted to do like shows, characters and rides, if you like came super full and didn't need to do any food or drink, then you probably would have time to do that stuff.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
But we did a bunch of the food stuff because that's what we wanted to do is the unique menu items.
Yeah,
And
that's
not
what I'm
just
saying.
that, because you want to be able to tell people who book with you what's worth doing of the new offerings over there.
Right.
Right. Yeah.
That's smart. You took
Yeah.
a hit for the team.
Don't
That's
take
right.
the
Thank
champagne
you.
marshmallows.
Yeah. She had to try it though to give us that review. Thank you.
She took them for the team.
Exactly. Your sacrifice is not in vain.
Thank you. Well, it was so my overall thoughts though, we did have a really good time. Like I don't want to represent it that we didn't enjoy the time. We really did. I don't know if I would do it again only because I really felt like I was mostly there to experience the unique food and the atmosphere. And like while that was fun, I've now done it and I feel like check. I don't know if I'd do it again.
Ooh.
I didn't think the shows were enough to pull me back again. Like there were even the Hollywood Holiday or whatever, the one with Kermit and Piggy. As much as I liked that show, I don't need to see it again. You know,
Sure,
it wasn't that
sure.
amazing.
Yeah.
So yeah, so I had a good time. I do think this is an adults only experience. It's not really like there were kids there, but it is certainly an adult atmosphere. It is like people weren't drunk or anything, but it's like people get super dressy in their cocktail attire. It's mostly adults there. I didn't see many kids at all. And the idea is like food and drink and cocktail party and music and dancing, which is great. Like we had fun. It was a fun atmosphere. But I don't think I would bring my kids to this party.
Oh, good to know. Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
But that was kind of cool. You know, like there aren't a lot of experiences at Disney where I walk away feeling like I really loved the adult nature of that party and like the adult atmosphere. And that was a part of it, which I thought was like positive. I liked that, especially because we were there on purpose with adults.
It sounds like there's certain parts that they had working for them, and then if they could I don't know, get the budget up. I think the ice skating part, that kind of hurt me to hear.
That doesn't sound like it's very well thought out at
Yeah, I
all.
was just saying, they may need to perfect that.
I'm sure you can find it on YouTube and check it out. There were people who were positive about it. I don't understand. But
You caught a bad show
Well, they
that
might have
night.
not been from areas that know ice like you know ice.
And they might be getting a little
Pixie dusty
extra attention from Disney for their nice reviews.
Oh, that's true. Or they might have been juiced when they saw it.
like maybe we've seen Disney on Ice a few times. It tours nationally.
Big show, yeah.
We've gone to see it a couple of times, and like it wasn't anything near to as good as that. I mean, not even close. I said. What was my review? I said, well, it's as if the kid around the corner who spends too much time at the ice rink pulled out a welcome mat sized piece of ice and decided to do a couple spins for you to some music on the stereo. That was the other thing too, is the music wasn't live. They were lip syncing and they weren't even doing it very well. Like there was one woman, I think, that was actually singing. But I'm not even positive she was singing. And then the other ones were clearly lip syncing. And so that was kind of a bummer too.
Wow. Oh, that's a shame.
It's kind of
That's a
crazy
mix.
to me. It's just kind of crazy to me that they haven't, I don't know, thought through this a little bit better than what they've done. Because, I mean, it doesn't sound like you have enough time to really experience everything. And I get you got to make hard choices, but it does seem like the things that you do experience are one and dones.
Yes, there was not. Yeah, like I said, there was nothing there that was so good. I was like, I have to go back next year.
There's no parade, kind of like, you know,
No
Very
parade.
Merry or Not So Scary, where they always add to it every year. No castle show. That they
The Glisten was like the ice skating was like the castle show.
Right. I mean, it just seems kind of poor. I mean, to my knowledge, at least, none of the rides were augmented in any kind of way where it's
No,
like, okay,
they were
well,
all the same.
Overlays, yeah.
yeah. So
Yeah, no overlays.
That would have been
It sounds like the
awesome.
return on investment for the consumer is not as good as the return on investment that Disney's getting.
exactly. Now,
Yeah.
having said all that, I think I would still do this and just go see the rides as opposed to just booking a regular park ticket to Hollywood Studios and then having to pay extra to get
For all
on
this stuff,
Slinky
yeah.
Dog or Rise of the Resistance or anything like that.
Yeah.
I think it all evens out.
It wasn't crazy expensive as far as these parties go, like compared to a regular ticket day. So we paid like $170 including tax
Per person, yeah.
per person. Yeah. So that wasn't that bad. And we paid whatever the regular rate was. I didn't have like any special rate other than I'm a DVC member. So we did get like a 10% discount or something for DVC.
Tax.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, so there was that. And then I do think, especially if you have kids, that Very Merry Christmas Party is a better value.
And that's probably what they were doing, right? That's probably why there wasn't a lot of kids, is because if you had to make a decision between
Yeah.
the two,
Right.
you take your kids to Magic Kingdom versus Hollywood Studios.
Yes.
So rank them, Rachel. Jollywood Nights, Very Merry, and Not So Scary.
Yeah. So Not So Scary is the least expensive typically of that list. And so because like if I'm thinking about your value that you get out of the party, I'm probably putting Not So Scary first
Bravo.
Okay. Yeah.
because it offers tons of exclusive entertainment. It has ride overlays. There's like stuff that you can't see anywhere else and truly can't see anywhere else because they don't ever do those parades in the regular day or the fireworks. And it's typically the least expensive party. So I put Very Not So Scary at the top, number one.
Mhm.
Nice.
Number two, I probably would do Very Merry. I don't know. That one's tough. Very Merry and Jollywood are more tied for me.
Yeah.
I think Not So Scary is the clear winner. But the Very Merry, my complaints with that are if you go at Christmas time, you can see all that entertainment in the regular park day.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that stuff becomes less exclusive. But you do get more time in the park for Very Merry than you do for Jollywood. So I guess I'm going to give it the edge because of that. And then Jollywood, probably number 3. But I did think it offered a unique atmosphere that the other two don't. It was very adult centric, which I thought was fun.
I think I would do it. I would definitely.
Yeah.
Do it.
Mhm.
I'm glad I did it. I don't think I would do it again necessarily. Like I might just rather go out to Disney Springs and do some bars.
Probably.
Can't hate on that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Can't
Yes.
hate on
yes.
that. But that buffalo
That spring roll thing
that,
sounds
good.
I was a
Yeah,
little
I would try
curious
that,
on
yeah.
that. Yeah, not so much the cauliflower for me, but that's because I'm just
Well,
a
if you ride a bunch of
carnivore.
rides and just get that and maybe a drink, then you're still getting a pretty decent value.
So
from
those
it.
drinks, yeah, that old fashioned
you could've
sounded
done
good
that.
too.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. The
wouldn't-
old fashioned.
I
Yeah.
would go for that.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah. So that's Jollywood Nights.
Yeah, Rachel, so thank you for giving us that rundown on Jollywood Nights, and no doubt they can probably book a vacation with you, right?
Definitely. We can definitely book a vacation. Reach out to me at Rachel, RACHEL at magicourway.com. And I can even just book the party for you. So if you're still thinking about going and you just need a ticket, I can do that too. And it still comes back to support this podcast.
Awesome. Thanks. Well, y'all, we hope you enjoyed that discussion about Jollywood Nights, or Disney Jollywood Nights, as they have it branded on their website. Look, if you want to learn more about us, magicourway.com is the way to go. There you'll find our social media links, past episodes, and more. Also, if you want to get in touch with us to share your opinions on Jollywood Nights or anything else, you can do so through the following ways. First of all, shoot us an email at show@magicourway.com, or call or text us at 1-815-MOWican. That is 1-815...
MOWican
669-4226. And of course, we have a couple of people do things outside of the podcast. First of all, we got Eli, does everything with comics.
Yes, sir.
What you got going on, sir?
Tell you what, when you go out there to the internet, always visit www.ivorycomics.com, where you can see all the work that I've done over the years, and appreciate the support for those who have bought the books, such as Molly Be Damned, Project Geisha, and of course Savages. There's also blogs and interviews and a link to the Magic Our Way podcast, so you never miss a beat, never miss an episode, movie review, or how bad champagne marshmallows are. So as always love to support www.ivorycomics.com. On social media, Facebook, you can find me there at Eli H. Ivory. It's a pleasure to meet you if you're a real person. If you're a bot, I do not need to greet you. I got no credit card information to give you. I cannot give you my social security number for a job that does not exist in any part of Alaska that's remote. So please, if you're a real person, love to see you, but no more bots. I'm just tired. I'm almost 50. That's half a century of bots. Like, I do not think I'm the future of the Terminator, but I should be.
Yeah, I don't think the internet was around when you were a baby.
It was. The bot didn't tell you.
Okay.
Didn't tell you. Anyway, also on Facebook, you can go and visit the Project Geisha fan page. So again, facebook.com/Project Geisha. Also on Instagram, posting up the hearts and the likes and see what you guys got doing, because that's what it's all about. EIV504 is where you'll find me there. And of course, on X, I can be found at Hancock10166. So yes, if you appreciate the madness, they just bringing me the
Eli's laughing at the end there because Danny just showed us a picture of the sweater vest boy.
Danny, thank you very much.
What?
That was awesome.
This is like the sweater vest quartet.
I
love
it. Perfect.
This is not the sweater vest boys looking lovingly into each other's eyes. This is everybody. This is awesome.
I want the Tower of Terror pic.
Yeah, I want to see
Oh, you
that.
did?
It's the next one. Yeah.
Is it there?
Oh,
Okay.
wait. There's
I
a
missed.
second one?
Well, I've done my spiel. That's the deal.
I
my
see
God.
this. Yes.
That is.
They had a blast.
I'm glad. No, to say that like they both were in the same situation, but didn't really like. It's like a Lethal Weapon thing. They just kind of like, all right, we're in this, and boom. I like rides, you like rides, let's go, and then like
That's
magic
awesome.
happened.
Now, I know
love it.
you said that they made sure to talk about their wives so people didn't think they were gay, but sitting this far apart on Hollywood Tower of Terror is going a little too far.
Yeah.
Like, this is-
They went on it 5 times, Danny. I'm sure they were
At
like,
one
look.
point, they rode next to each other.
Yeah.
We just didn't get that picture.
And they were like, and everybody was looking like, come on, y'all, like, oh, wait, whoa.
It leaves too much room for photoshoppers.
Can I tell you something?
I got Photoshop.
I call this picture "Love in an Elevator."
Yeah. That's the terror of love right there.
Perfect.
Anyway. All right, look, like I said, you can book a vacation with Rachel to experience this and many of the other parties or whatever else you want. Even the race weekends, which are coming up too, and
Yes.
Festival of the Arts. You can do all that stuff. And Epic Universe. Rachel, how do they do this?
Yes, I would be honored to help your group plan whatever kind of trip it is that you're looking for. So maybe it's a family vacation or an adults only weekend or a cruise or a trip to a nearby city. I can book major hotel brands around the world. I also book Universal trips and all kinds of Disney destinations, Royal Caribbean, Virgin Voyages, all of those things. And it costs nothing extra for you to book with me. And a little piece of what you spend on your vacation that you would have spent anyway booking direct or booking online comes back to support this podcast community at no extra cost to you. I can help as much or as little as you'd like, and your booking works exactly the same way as it would if you booked it directly with Disney yourself or any of those other suppliers. Again, the benefit is that it comes and supports this podcast that you enjoy, and we thank you and we love having you. So please reach out. My email is Rachel, RACHEL @magicourway.com. Or you can text me. I have a phone number, and that is 978-432-WISH. Just let me know that you came from the podcast. And you can also find me on social media. I'm at R, that's the letter R, at R Family Magic, all one word. And again, just message me. Let me know you're here from the podcast. And I am so excited to help you plan your trip. So thanks so much.
And this just in, ladies, if you're looking for a play date for your husband, Rachel
Yes.
books those as well.
I do. Yep. They have to wear a sweater vest, though.
Exactly. It's got to match.
It's gotta
Well,
be.
it don't work.
Have to.
Oh my God.
So look, if y'all want to access all the info we just mentioned, go to magicourway.com/about us. If you want to elevate your support of the Magic Our Way podcast, go to patreon.com/magicourway. And another option to support us, and only costs a minute or so of your time, is to leave a rating and review on Apple Podcasts and or wherever you access our show, whether it is YouTube, Spotify, Podbean, etc. Any way in which you can support the show is deeply appreciated. Also, if you want to buy a sweater vest, an ugly Christmas sweater vest, you can go to the mall. And what was the name of that store, Rachel?
Box lunch.
Box Lunch. Get yourself a box lunch, and you can have a play date too with her husband, Josh.
They have a lot of cool Disney stuff over there.
Do
they
Box
really?
Lunch. Yeah.
Yeah.
Box Lunch is good.
I haven't been to the mall in years.
Not this mall. You got to go to Baton Rouge, but Box Lunch does.
Oh,
yeah, it has a
Mall
store.
Louisiana.
Yeah.
has okay.
They don't have like an online store or something like that?
Oh, they might.
Yeah,
I'm
they
sure
do.
they would.
Yeah, they do.
Box
Okay, I'll have
lunch.
to look for box lunch. I like box lunch.
Yeah, I
always
was thinking
bring a
that.
box
Maybe
lunch.
we talk to them, see if they want
Yeah.
a little like small spot.
Let's do that. Yeah, do that.
Yeah, let's get on
sponsor
that.
us for Disney
Right.
stuff and ugly
Right.
Christmas
Definitely.
sweaters.
Put us in the box. Feed us lunch.
And join Josh
Yeah,
for
yeah.
a fun time at Jollywood
Thank y'all.
Nights.
Yeah, thanks to the two
Yes.
gentlemen right there. That was some good entertainment.
Jollywood means more than one thing.
Yes, indeed.
All right. Look, we want to thank you for being a loyal listener, and we love hearing from our listeners. All opinions are always welcome in the Magic Our Way podcast, without bias, without any influence from Disney. It's great. Yeah, there's so much freedom. So make sure you get in touch with us today to share those thoughts and opinions. So we say Kwaharini. My name is Kevin.
And I'm Danny.
Magic out.
All right. Nachos are on plates.
And you are. Bye!